Kara just recently turned 18. Her parents like to go abroad because of which she lives alone in a big house. Only literature keeps her from being bored. She has one dream, to be loved, and today something new will happen in her life. She will meet a writer like herself, a teacher named Jonathan. He has found inspiration in this remote town. Kara comes to class before everyone else. This surprises Jonathan, and he asks where she lives. They tell each other about their lives. Jonathan is amazed that Kara has read the entire syllabus. Kara jokingly replies that she likes it rough. Then Winnie walks into the study and takes her friend out to talk. While they are gone, Jonathan looks at Kara's books. He is distracted by Boris, who immediately realizes that Jonathan is reading a girl's book since its plot is very vulgar. Coincidentally, Kara likes to read a book written by Jonathan. He lives together with his wife Beatrice, who is also a writer. He tells her that his student is reading his book. They start to dance, but are distracted by a call from Emmy. A new date is dawning. The teachers are relaxing, sitting on benches and sipping coffee. Boris wonders if the forest is haunted. Seconds later, Kara comes out of the woods and walks right up to the teachers. Boris offers cookies and Jonathan can't take his eyes off Kara. A little later, Winnie tries to get Boris's attention. She bluntly says that she is interested in their interaction. Kara calls her a lunatic. The friends get together. Kara confesses that she is having trouble finding a topic for a future book. Winnie suggests reliving a moment that will help with the topic, like the intrigue with the teacher. The problem is that neither of them has been in a serious relationship. Winnie wants her first date to be with Boris. Kara must also realize that Mr. Jonathan looks at her in a special way. But Kara denies everything, and she spends the rest of the day reading Jonathan's book. During class, they can't take their eyes off each other. Jonathan asks to come over to his place after class, and the same desire to get all of his attention runs through Kara's mind. A little later, Jonathan decides to dance a little, but he is distracted by Kara. She promises not to reveal his infatuation to anyone. Jonathan suggests going to a poetry class, in case something surprises her. He read her latest work and liked it a lot. Kara is embarrassed and explains what her piece was about. Jonathan wants her to write a story in the style of his favorite author. Kara accepts the assignment, adding that she has read his book in its entirety. Then she repeats some of the phrases she liked the most. Jonathan doesn't even know what to say. Kara interrupts the awkward pause and apologizes. Suddenly, Winnie enters the office, and they end the conversation. Today, the teachers and Beatrice are visiting a cafe. Vinny works there as well. Boris teases the girl, and Beatrice wonders how beautiful the girl who read his book is. He replies that she is very intelligent and unique. Beatrice decides to declare that Jonathan is not a writer. When he chose to work as a teacher, he never wrote another new book after that day. The next day, Kara attends a writer's circle. She feels that this day will be very meaningful to her. Jonathan is excited to see her. A guy comes on stage and reads his work. Jonathan listens attentively, but Kara looks solely at Jonathan. The next day, she brings coffee to the teachers. Boris shares his cookies. Kara doesn't understand why Boris makes such delicious cookies, but she doesn't tell anyone. He could sell it, and Winnie could make a logo. Today, the girls stop by Jonathan's house. He tells them that he is going on vacation with his wife. Winnie sees them chatting nicely with each other. When the teacher comes out, she suggests Kara to make the first move and seduce Jonathan. Their conversation is interrupted by Boris. He has decided to sell cookies. Winnie quickly joins their team. All she needs is his number. That afternoon, Kara calls Jonathan. He promises her that he will stop by to see her before he leaves. Kara reasons that when love is real, it is quiet and imminent. A couple hours later, Jonathan arrives at Kara's house. She comes out of the house dressed in a white dress. All Jonathan can do is stand there and watch her walk towards him. Kara stops and asks him to come over to her. Jonathan still stands still, and then Kara makes the first move followed by a kiss. When he gets home, he keeps getting messages from Kara. Beatrice is annoyed by the alerts. This forces Jonathan to retire to the barn. There he starts reading Kara's new book. He gets carried away and imagines that they are the main characters. Unable to resist, he begins to strangle his one-eyed snake. A new day arrives. Kara notices Jonathan's strange behavior. She asks what has happened to him. Jonathan replies that she needs to choose a new author. She states that he asked her to write a book about a subject she knows. Jonathan asks if she really knows that. Kara replies that they do. Seeing him swept away, Kara says it's about two similar people denying social constraints. Jonathan still thinks the book is too mature. Kara's sure he's too scared. They're not strangers now. Jonathan tries to explain that she is his student and he is the teacher. Kara still wants recognition that the work is good. It's just that Jonathan doesn't want to admit it, and calls Jonathan redundant but without ambition. He could be so much better, but right now he's irresponsible. Before she leaves, she leads her story in the administration box. In the evening, the friends meet. Winnie asks if she likes Jonathan. Kara calls him an imitation of a sushi gas station, but she likes him anyway. Meanwhile, Beatrice finds out what his student wrote, but he won't admit who the story was written about. Beatrice manages to persuade him to tell the story. Kara suggests that Win write to Boris. She does so. He comes to visit Jonathan's family. Beatrice notices Boris texting someone, but he won't tell who it is, and the conversation starts to take a turn, and Boris puts the phone away. Jonathan gets a call from the administration, accusing him of having an inappropriate relationship with Kara, but he denies everything. He realizes that if she manages to prove they had something, he will lose his job. Beatrice says he could lose more than just his job, and asks him to tell the truth. Jonathan swears that nothing happened. The next day, Kara is skipping class. Winnie looks very confused. She tries to make Jonathan feel guilty, but he looks as cold as possible. Later, Kara comes to the principal and describes their adventures. Jonathan has to defend himself. He is lucky that their stories match. When asked the final question, Kara replies that nothing happened that she didn't like. Obviously, Jonathan doesn't know what she answered, and the question made him very uncomfortable. At recess, Boris realizes that Jonathan has fallen in love with Kara. He's unlucky that he can't see the line that can't be crossed. That's what got him into this mess in the first place. When he returns home, Beatrice is already asking her questions. Beatrice doesn't believe his lies. Jonathan could not deny that a spark flew between him and Kara. This was the last straw. Beatrice is going to file for divorce. Winnie comes to Kara and asks her not to hurt Jonathan. She says that she shouldn't take revenge on him just because he rejected her. Winnie stands up for Jonathan and says that Kara is lying. She quickly replies that Winnie can't do that. She has dirt on her and Boris. When Kara finishes writing a book about her and Jonathan, the story ends. You have been on the Recap Roman channel. Subscribe and give it a like. See you soon.